Want to feel stronger, run faster, and with fewer injuries? Here is a simple strength program designed specifically for beginner runners. This is an easy strength session that you can put in after one of your runs, or include this as a dedicated strength session. Lunges are a fantastic exercise to help build strength through the quads and the glutes, and I like to lunge forwards, keeping that posture nice and upright. We can also start to challenge ourselves by doing a reverse lunge like this, again nice and smooth, nice and controlled. And what I'm looking to do is walk hip width apart. What I'm not trying to do is walk a tightrope, so give yourself a fighting chance. Feet hip width apart, challenge yourself forwards and backwards. Do 2 to 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps. You can also start to challenge glute med, which is really beneficial for stabilizing the hip joint. So if I go hip width apart, stand on that left leg and take this right foot behind, use that to stabilize, squat down, drive up to the top, and then same on the opposite side. So using my right leg to post, left leg around the back and driving up. Another great way to challenge that hip complex. As we've discussed in a previous video, hamstrings are really important in the pulling action whilst we're running. So we need to make sure our hamstrings are in a good position to prevent injury, but also build strength. So the RDL, or Romanian deadlift, is a brilliant exercise to start building some of that posterior strength. If you're new to this exercise, I would recommend having a slightly soft or bent knee, and then thinking about keeping a neutral back, pushing that bum backwards, thinking about touching the wall behind us with our bum and coming back up, engaging the glutes. Slowly control down, coming back up. Sort of a 3-second eccentric or lowering phase of this movement. If you want to challenge yourself further, you can do the stiff leg version or straight leg. So thinking about pushing the knees back, and again pushing or driving that bum backwards, and we'll find that this is a much more aggressive stretch over the hamstring. So feel free to play. As I said, I recommend, if you're new to this exercise, keeping that soft bend in the knee, pushing that bum back, feel that stretch, neutral back, coming back to standing. I'll show you now the difference in what it looks like between a stiff leg and a bent leg. Bent leg RDL builds a much stronger runner-friendly hamstring and glutes, whereas the stiff leg version keeps the knee straighter and hits the hamstrings harder in that bottom stretched position. Start with body weight exercises, and you can progressively start to add some load as you start to feel more competent in these exercises and continue to challenge yourself further. In this variation, I'm using a small amount of weight just to build that progressive overload. This isn't necessary as you're starting to learn the exercise, but I would encourage you to gradually add load as you become more proficient. Bending the knees, leaning forwards, neutral back, push that bum back, feel that stretch with the hamstrings, squeeze the glutes, come back to the top. And then for the stiff leg version, thinking about putting the knees straight. Again, you can keep a very soft bend in the knee if you are getting some knee pain, but predominantly keep the leg straight. Leaning forwards, allow the weight to pull you down, resisting falling too quickly. Feel that stretch and come back up. I really like this exercise for building posterior strength, bulletproofing those hamstrings, and I would recommend doing 2 to 3 sets between 8 and 12 reps. Behold my mighty calves. As a runner, you need to make sure that your calves are able to generate force through a full range of motion. So by standing on a step or giving yourself the ability to drop down below surface level, so you can continue to build strength all the way through that rep range. Again, thinking about a 2 to 3 second lowering phase, hit the bottom and then driving up. Nice and smooth, nice and controlled. We can afford to go slightly higher on the rep range, between 10 and 20 reps on these. As well as working the backs of our legs, the calves, the hamstrings, we need to work the fronts of our legs. So the tib raise is a way that we can build the strength to pull our toes and pull our feet off the ground as we are striding forwards. And this is an often overlooked muscle. So putting my back against the wall and I'm thinking about pulling my toes off the ground. If you want to make this exercise harder, take your feet further away from the wall, thinking about pulling the feet and the toes off the ground. Oh, big squeeze at the top, slowly down, big squeeze at the top, slowly down. And if we want to make this easier, we stand more vertical against the wall. Take the feet closer to the wall. Ooh, big squeeze. Ben Patrick, or the knees over toes guy, is a huge proponent of this, and this is something that I've definitely found a lot of value in. And what I'm looking to do is get a really good bump. I love the bump, pulling those toes off the ground. So between 10, 20 reps, 2 to 3 sets once again. And for the final exercise, we're going to start linking the upper body with the lower body with something called the dead bug, and the name will become quite apparent in a moment. So this is a fantastic exercise. Our core isn't just our six-pack muscles, it's the linking of the upper body with the lower body, and especially as we're running, we really need good core integration. So I'm putting my lower back into the ground, and I don't want to compromise my lower back. I want to keep that pushed against the ground. So from here, knees up about 90 degrees, and I'm looking to take my opposite arm and opposite foot away from that center line. Notice how I'm trying to keep the non-working leg, i.e. the bent leg, vertical. I'm not looking to chase that. I'm looking to keep that nice and fixed. Opposite arm, opposite foot. Initially I can make that quite easy for myself, so obviously with body weight, the longer the lever, the more challenging that becomes. So initially I'm just looking to create stability, back to center, create stability, back to center, without going to a fully straightened arm and leg. But as I get more competent, I can start to think about increasing the range of which I'm able to demonstrate that strength and control. And again, quite a humbling exercise through the core, through the hip flexors. And once I've mastered the opposite arm, opposite foot, I can start to increase that range using arms and legs at the same time. Remember, as I said at the start, we're not looking to bow the lower back. We want to protect that lower back at all costs, pushing that into the ground, maintain that core, abs are on, point those toes, point those fingers, and enjoy. For runners, the key is moderate reps and gradually look to increase those reps over time. You can even start to include weight as you progress through these exercises and continue to build resilience. And there you have it, your beginner strength session. Hopefully this will help you stay injury free and continue running for longer. Remember to leave at least one day between your sessions and keep it fun and enjoy it for the long term. If you did enjoy this, YouTube thinks you'll enjoy this video next, so go on, give it a click.